Yo, buddy. I don't know if anything is going live right now. I have no idea. I don't know. You're going to have to let me in the chat if you can hear the sound of my voice, if you can listen to anything I'm actually saying right now, because I left my headphone case somewhere in America. Somewhere in America is my headphone case. And if you can't hear me right now, I have no idea what to say, because I hooked up these guys so I can hear music, but I can't hear what's actually going on in the background. So you're going to have to tell me, is there any microphone? Is there any sound? Because boy, do we have a big day today. Boy, do we have a big day today. I went ham on the IDE idea last night. I couldn't sleep. Nothing was working. I have no idea if there's a microphone. There might be a double microphone. There might not be any microphone. Tell me if you can hear some sound. All right. So we got a lot going on. Loud and clear. I can't hear anything. I can't hear myself. I can't hear anything, which is good. All right. So what do we got going on today? We got a lot going on. We made a lot of progress. And we got a lot of not ideal progress. All right. So what I noticed is, in the world of creation of IDEs, you can create just about anything. And then that is, let's turn this down a little bit. That is your end-all be-all. Who's to say? I was creating this yesterday. I went through 10 iterations of this. 10 iterations. I said, why don't I connect all of the chats together? Why don't I have the weather, the to-do list, the Boatenston.com, have music, have tabs on the left side so you can go into, I'm coding now, I have the browser. And I was thinking about it, I said, why didn't Apple do this? Why did Apple not do this? Steve Jobs is like, your desktop should be little tabs on the left side. It says coding, apps, desktop, music, browser. It shouldn't be apps. All the apps should be integrated into one interface. That's what it comes down to. One interface. Why do I have to go? That's why I don't have my phone on me. That's why when I go into Boatenston.com and I look around and I say, by the way, love it. The Boatenston OS, pronounced boss. If you want to download it, it is live. I like the way that Fable is doing this. By the way, Fable, to compete right now, really after thinking about Kimmy K, Quen, China's now producing their own chips. The United States is screwed. And I'm talking about car manufacturing, I'm talking about robotics, I'm talking about software, I'm talking about chips, I'm talking about memory, I'm talking about society at large. I was listening to this guy at the gym. All right, this one on the left is actually building out, they named it Fleet. I don't like the word fleet. All right, so we got to sign in, bring this boy down here. Let's do this. Type it in. Email me a code. There it is. Just like in Apple, you have 30 seconds to approve it. Let's go to mail. Let's see what that code is. I have 15 seconds left. Feel like Keanu Reeves. Oh, wow. Oh, I forgot I have a happy hour. Oh, 6. Hurry up. Ah! Approve! I did it! I did it. Approve on the web? I did it. Ah, bug. All right, let's just go over some basic things. By the way, I had so many ideas for this. The guy with the curly hair that's got the website called canvas.dev is actually underestimated, one of the smartest people that's actually vibe coding right now. Vastly underestimated. Way beyond, dare I say, Bridgehead. Bridge face. Love the guy. Handsome guy. Triathlon. The grandfather, not the godfather, the grandfather of vibe coding. The man who taught us all to do this. There are things that he needs to add into that we are going to add into this. All right. Thank you, Fable. You did a fantastic job. We are going to the moon. We are creating the greatest desktop IDE coding software, along with browser, along with music, along with any application, along with anything that we want to build, create, including apps and App Store. Let's take this to the next level. Take this to the moon. Let us be Apollo. Let us be the second people to walk on the moon. You already have a complete guide. Deep thinking. You are the greatest coder, architect, database, software engineer, UI, UX, database, front end, back end, wiring, ever. Create a complicated, extensive, at least 25 in the order in which you want to do a to-do list, and also make sure you flag that this is not working on the Botenstein.com one code sign-in for Botenstein.com. On top of that, we are now naming you. All right, so now we got a name. We got to name this boy. You have no idea what this invigorated me. You have no idea. Imagine this vision. Dare I say, visions. Here it is. Look at that. I don't even know if this is showing up on OBS. I lost my AirPods case somewhere, and Apple doesn't sell new ones. Apple. I got to buy brand new $250 AirPods, but then I go to Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and it's $199. Explain that to me. I want just a case. I'm going to go to Apple and demand just a case. I need a case. I literally have no idea. I went down to the East Village. I showed an apartment. I came back up to Midtown. I don't know where it went. But look at this. You log in. You have your coding. You have your today. You have your brief. You have your email. You have everything in tabs on one interface. You interact with one interface. That's it. You don't have a stupid toolbar that loads in. It's going to have your docs. It's going to have your drive. It's going to have your music. It's going to have your Audible books. It's going to have the community. It's going to have an app store. Dare I say, the best IDE on the market. All right, we have some ideas, though, on what to name this. The ideas are as follows. And I could be totally out kicking the punt right now. All right, here are the 4 names. I did about 75 names. I wanted it one syllable, like Google, Amazon, that's more. Google, Amazon, Prime. It's like blah, blah. All right, Prism. Download Prism. No, don't like it. Delete it. Brisk. No, don't like it. Wisp. Don't like it. Already messed it up. Veil. No. I keep on coming back to Foundry. Download Foundry. I don't know why. Foundry AI. Foundry OS. Foundry. Do we like it? We'll just name it Foundry for now because it defaulted for Fable. I don't know why. Maybe I was using so much Fable, I just got fabled out. All right. I did notice one thing. Okay, this needs to go away. This needs to go away as well. Okay, so other little things in there. Also add to the to-do list to eliminate this stupid prompt that keeps on remaining in front of my face. I don't like it. I don't need it. Delete it from my face. That needs to get out of my face. Delete. Always allow. Deny. And it's going to come back up. Okay, it's gone. All right, there we go. Here we go. 30 seconds, yes, to resend the code. All right, let's get into it. What am I building? You have to have a community around what you're building. You can't build anything without a community. All right. You are an elite UI UX front-end developer, the best in the world. I want you to take every single thing that you created, thought of. You are the project manager, you're the lead, you're the hero. You're going to do everything perfectly. You are not going to spin up multiple agents. You're just going to do this by yourself, visually checking and testing every single aspect before you tell me that you're done, including all 3 screen sizes of the desktop, tablet, and mobile, and making sure that this is beautiful and not AI slop. And to those who do not want the bridge, dare I say, we got the bridge. Charles, don't do a bridge. Don't do a bridge. You know what? Because you told me we're not going to do a bridge, guess what we're going to do? We're going to do a bridge. So essentially, you have the PWA app, which is connected to the desktop. Dare I say connected to tablet. Dare I say connected to mobile. So imagine this right here. The left side is your IDE. You got a browser, coding, your workspace, and everything about your life, along with an app store. Like, say you now are doing a live ride. This needs to, you know what we're going to do? Yeah, this needs an upgrade. Whoops, wrong one. Hey now. But then who's to say I want my docs to be on the left side? I want my drive to be on the left side. In other words, on the left side, maybe you're training for a triathlon, or maybe you're very interested in your wealth, or you want your calendar, or your sleep. What did I do for sleep? My sleep is getting, you didn't use the Find My app. No, I don't have Find My anything. I thought about that yesterday. I did not actually track my sleep yesterday. 7-day score, 60 could be better. But you know what I did? Let's go to workout. You know what I did today? It didn't even sync. It didn't sync. Oh, that's not good. It should have synced. Form, which is my eyeballs. So when I'm swimming, I literally have a screen to the right of my face, and it tells you real time, your strokes, your distance, your time, your stroke per minute, your pace, your heart rate. It's crazy. It's all on an app, and it's free. This thing should have synced, though. This should have synced. I don't know why it didn't sync. My goals. All right, let's not do this live, Charles. Continue. Get more insights. I already paired my goggles. All right, that's weird. It should have paired it up here. Anyway, I did 1,500 yards. 1,500 yards. to show it. 1,500 yards. I did a treadmill yesterday. Tomorrow, it says rest, but there is no rest. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a bike session. And the reason being is, who's to say top of mind? This is it. Then I go in and I say, what is my journal? I want to journal the day. I click on new entry, a video comes up, I talk about the day, I talk about the wins, it takes a screenshot. Imagine your IDE, you log into your computer and this is your interface. This is your interface. What is your schedule? That comes in from your calendar. What is your workout for today? All right. What are you tracking? All right, you're sober for 37 days. What is your checklist? Checklist is when I do a new audiobook. Audiobooks are coming along, by the way. Let's go to apps, books. These are actually very good. I spent $200 accidentally yesterday. I didn't accidentally, I just kept getting open router that it was $30, $30, $30, $30, $30. I was like, $180 in an hour. What the hell just happened? You can't ask for a refund. It was a complete mess up on my part. All right. Let's go, Fable. Sign in bug. No more sitting back and resting. We're taking action, doing every single thing that you have on your to-do list in the order in which you do it. You're the project manager. You're not spinning up multiple agents. You're doing it all yourself. You're testing it. You're reviewing it. You're fixing. You're debugging. You're making this the most elite IDE imaginable. Drag and drop on the left side for the tabs. We're taking this to the next level. No sitting back. Action only. Elite in all spaces, coding, user interface, front end, back end, experience. There we go. I can't wait to show you guys. Oh. And then we'll delete this. This was from another chat. It probably means absolutely nothing and a waste of everybody's time, but here we go. All right. So you know what I learned yesterday? You know what I learned? Boris, Claude Code founder. You know what he said yesterday? Charles, tell us. Everybody knows that there is a way to prompt. There's a way to prompt. And the way that he prompts is very long, very intense, very detailed, very comprehensive. As a vibe coder, I cannot do that. I cannot continuously do the 10-part thing that he talks about. So I said, well, because I cannot prompt the way that Boris does, I said, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna spit out everything I need to say to make it interesting and exciting and entertaining to the plebeians at home and to myself, that it takes what I said, it runs it quickly through an AI prompt engine, and it goes, this is the way that Boris wants. This is the way that Boris coded Claude Code. So the first part is, you are a blah, 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 elite front-end, back-end, design, architecture, wiring, database, security, whatever. By the way, Fable, yesterday, bounced me 4 times out of Fable. It was going through my IDE, bounced it. I said, Fable, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're bouncing me out of Fable? Yeah, we're bouncing you out of Fable. You're going to Opus. I don't want to go to Opus. Opus is nonsensical. But it bounced me out of Fable, went into nonsense Opus land. So it goes, you are a X. I need you to build Y. Very specific. I need you to have a detailed 20-point plan, 15-point plan, 25-point plan in the order in which you recommend. Then you reiterate at the end what you just talked about so it doesn't hallucinate. That's a lot. That's a lot. But then I also thought about, Then I also thought about it and I said, why does bridge space guy, why was he successful? He was successful because every chat knows what every chat is doing. All transparent. They don't run into each other because there's clearly something on the back end, whether it's a harness, whether it's a wrapper, or it's a work tree, whatever, something. Personally, I don't like the work tree because that's a siloed working on your own space. What I want to build is a orchestrator with the workers, with a reviewer, back into the workers, back into a reviewer, back into the workers as a loop. There's a memory system as well on a conveyor belt. You add in prompts, and then once it gets to the end of the conveyor belt, perfect example. You probably never saw it, but you go into, what's her name? Lucy. I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy has an iconic chocolate scene where it's going so fast, she's shoving it into her mouth. She's trying to wrap it up, but it's coming too fast, and then she has to put it down her skirt, her shirt, her bra, her ears, her hair. She's throwing it all over the place. She's shoving it in her mouth. And the guy's coming back, and he's this French guy, and he's saying, "You're not working hard enough." Well, we have a conveyor belt of context in the window. Once it gets to the last thing, it gets sorted into a window, and then it goes for the last hour, then the last 2 hours, last 6 hours, last half day, last day. Now it goes into days. Now it goes into weeks. Now it goes into months. Now you have a perpetual memory system that remembers everything. Is it going to go into all of your memories? No. Is it going to potentially reference that if you say, I remember we were working on, maybe. But if you have the orchestrator on loops with memory and it transparent, you can now become an elite coder for what other people need to have built. And then you literally can click into that project and you have that person's project right in front of you. You have their website, you have their back end, you have their security, their analytics. They are receiving X, Y, and Z from their clients. They have a coaching program. You also have an apps area. You can go into the apps area. Like I thought about it, I said, why is Apple not building this? And as Alex at Moonshots talked about, what are the American frontier models doing? What are the American frontier models doing? Dare I say, let's go into Botenston.com. Charles, don't do benchmarks. So we started building this out. A lot of this is going to go away. A lot of this is going to go away. This is the cockpit of your life. You get into an F-16, F-2022. F-2022, is that what they called? The new ones that are over-saturated? And you got everything you want. The problem is you're going into an area that needs to be a sandbox. This needs to be a sandbox. But you go into the benchmarks. I built it out. I didn't build it out. I told, obviously. But this is what everyone said not to do. If I am going to be one of the best on the space, in the space, building for other people, building their ideas, building their apps, building their inspirations, personal web spaces, whatever, I got to know these models. I got to use these models. I got to have access to these models. I got to understand that as Fable gets guardrailed, Kimmy goes to the top, Gwen starts inching up, you have a Samsung Vine to buy Mistral, the French AI company. Samsung, by the way, just quantisized, whatever the heck those words are, a wild, small ideation of an AI model onto a tiny chip that could be on your cell phone. that could be on your cell phone. I don't need a Mac Studio. I don't need a Mac. What is Apple going to do? What is Apple going to do? You know? If you want to be the best, you got to be the best. I'm listening to a book called Winning, and it was the coach of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. And he said something very interesting in there, is that winning is objective and doesn't care about your feelings. Doesn't care that it's raining out, that you're cold, that you're tired, that it's the winter, that your car doesn't start, that your wife is pissed off at you, that your kids just came home drunk last night and threw up all over the bathroom. They don't care that you owe money to the IRS. Winning doesn't care about that. So if you need to win, you got to do what I did this morning. You wake up at 5 or 4:50, you snooze the alarm to 5. Against your will, you get into a cold pool and you, for 33 minutes straight, swim the most you've swam consistently in years. 1,500 yards. There's no music. It's just you, your stroke, your swim, and your thoughts. And you're just doing lap after lap after lap after lap after lap. Turn. One hand, one hand, one hand, one hand. I thought about it. That's free throws in the NBA. So if we want to be the best, if we want to be the best, if we want to be surrounded by the best, we got to be the best. We got to know, what are the parameters? Who's free, who's not free? Lyra. Is that part of NVIDIA? No, it's Google. What's its output? What's its reasoning? Am I going to be a benchmark? No. But you know what I'm going to be? And I'm going to own it? Very interesting, actually, what I just noticed. They changed it to membership. I like that. Membership. Instead of pricing, membership. It's all about words. All right, let's go into the other things. Foundry, I think we're going to put that in stone. Okay, Riverside. Okay. Riverside, we're building out right now. We're building out right now. And then we're going to do Showcase. Showcase is going to be Cockpit. Cockpit, stupid name. Shorts, we'll probably delete. Probably delete. Stupid idea. Articles, probably keep. This brings in traffic. Venture capital versus bootstrapping. The honest answer. Quick, easy, to the point. You know what we're also going to do? Between you and I, we're going to steal the way that Open Router does their... Look at the way Eleven Labs. Look at the way that 11 Labs does it. But you know who does it better? You know who does it better? Give me an artifact. Give me an artifact. Artifact from yesterday, unbelievable. Here it is. All right, the studio, let's do this. You gotta blow smoke up its toot. Gotta blow smoke up its toot. Gotta go over here, put that in there. Delete the second screenshot. Go over there. All right. Yes. Yeah, we'll put it at there. And we got to go to the way that Claude wants to be prompted. Not the way I want Claude to be prompted, not the way that it should be prompted, the way that I want it to be prompted, or the way it wants to be prompted. So Studio should actually be an app. Studio should actually be an app I like this setup though. Very clean, very clean. And what was it this? Here we go, look at this. Look at this. That's clean. I don't like how thin it is, but that's clean. That's gonna be another chat actually. That's gonna be another chat. That's gonna be this chat right here. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna do Opus. And we are going to change iCharles.com. And we are going to change, look at that, that's clean. That is clean. Every article, we're changing to that. And I think it's gonna be H1, H2. I don't know what they're called. We're gonna take that. We're gonna take this. Actually, no, we're not gonna take the left side. We're gonna take, I love that font as well. So we do that. That is for botenston.com/articles. All right. Articles, and then iCharles.com/articles. I also should be and iCharles.com/articles, and all new article generated to these sites. And I think that's in the projects area. That is in the projects area under botenston.com. Not the website, actually. Let's go to Botenston community. Mark Miller dropping in birds. IDE. All right, let's go into here. Each of the workspaces has automatic content engine. Content engine. Let's do that. It also has articles. Let's do this. I also changed the slug as well. That was big. Do for Botenston project as well. All right, we'll send that out over there. Actually, we won't send it out, but I need to do a solid prompt. Love this, by the way. Love the share. We just need to have that little area on the left side. And we need to have at the top right here to play the article. Very good prompt coming through right now. Very good prompt. Very good prompt. You are an elite UI and front-end designer. What you're going to do is take the articles on botenston.com and on iCharles.com. Every single one of them automatically will be coming with a play button that people can fast forward and rewind 30 seconds. They also have a playback speed. This is automatically added to every single article, and it flows with the article at the bottom left if they are playing that. It is in a voice that is free and beautiful and chic and modern. It is not AI slop voice. We're also adding in on the left side, there are bookmark style within the actual article on the left side that you click on it and you go right to that one area. It is probably per paragraph. Because we built every single article the exact same on botenston.com and on iCharles.com, this is going to be an easy adding into the code base to make sure that this is wired to the interface. This is going to be on every single article that has been produced on both websites and going forward. I included the content engine and the article engine that we are going to make sure that this is added in. We are not squeezing the actual interface of the article to make this thinner. We're adding in that side left bar that is going to be linked and moves with the actual article, along with the share buttons that are at the top, moves with the article on the left side under the paragraph names that you link to, along with the ability to play the article under the speed in which somebody wants on a playback speed. This is going to be a great addition that users desire. Very clean. And we are testing and reviewing, and we are not spinning up multiple agents. You are going to be doing and seeing the work in progress and doing the to-do list based on the desire and the order in which you, as the project manager, want to do. All right, let's send that out. So it's a little bit longer. The prompts are a little bit longer, but they're good. You are an elite video editor, front-end designer, and user experience, user interface designer at a premier level. You're going in and making sure that I, as a video creator, can go into the apps area called Studio. The Studio must be added to that page as somewhere I can go in, record a video exactly like the interface of riverside.com. I can then, from the rendering, after it renders, I could see it actually with a progress bar rendering to 100%. Once it renders, I can go in, click edit on a thumbnail that's in the Studio / videos or recording, whatever name you want. Go into each individual video and using a very small yet sophisticated AI model, take out any pauses, ums, ahs, silences in the video when I click a button. That is a standard feature within riverside.com. Once I am done editing it, I can press a button called export. It renders in the background ready to be downloaded. There's also a progress bar for that. This is a very sophisticated operation that we are going to be moving towards. There's also going to be at the top a right tab that says thumbnails. I click on the thumbnails tab. There's already a page. The page uses a Fable CLI through my Claude subscription to think of the best way to generate a thumbnail prompt for ChatGPT image 2.0. Very important that it's using ChatGPT image 2.0 through OpenRouter on that, and it produces an HTML page, or on the HTML page, all of these 16 by 9 thumbnails based on the documentation and sophistication of how Google and MrBeast and the top YouTube creators have their thumbnails. I can upload my own face to be included, along with only about 1 to 2 elements and max 1 to 2 words. We're going on simplicity, yet wow factor, surprise factor, click-through rate factor. There we go. Oh, buddy. Oh, boy. It's getting hot up in here. It's getting hot up in here. All right. Fable is fabling. Fable is fabling. You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the moment I can only and will only work in my IDE. See all these things on the left side? These toolbars right here? I have a calculator, I have my activity monitor, I have my terminal, I have my thing that I need to go this live, and then I got my tail scale, I got my OBS, I got my braid browser, These two apps are mine, B-Shot and Fleet. Fleet is the IDE, B-Shot is obviously the screenshot tool. Apple, there's two, I'm calling it right now. Okay, there's 5 people watching. I'm calling it right now. Clip this. There's 2 companies that I'm very concerned about in the future. Number 1 is Meta. Number 1 is Meta. Okay? You look at the news. Not that one. The news. Look at what Meta's doing. Where is it? Oh yeah, by the way, Elon, my boy's dropping a lot of this is coming, watch out for, man, I don't know. But here we go. This year has been the worst PR I have ever seen for a company that is as wealthy and established as Meta. This year, with screenshotting, keystrokes, mouse, just literally training AI to fire their employees leave. They don't give them anything. They don't tell them anything. 10% of their workforce is laid off. Do you think the company morale in that company is like, yes, I want to do this. I love Meta. Or are they like, you know what? I want to work at NVIDIA. I want to work at Alphabet. I want to work at Anthropic. I want to work at Physical Intelligence. They might be bought out by Anthropic. Hell, I want to work at a Chinese model. You know? Like, look at what Samsung is doing. Samsung just announced they have put a quantum bit on some tiny, it was like 1/4 of the size and the scale and the power, the energy needed for their chips. And guess what Samsung is doing? They're going after the only AI model in Europe that actually means anything. Samsung's a boss right now. What about Sony? Where's Sony in all this? I haven't heard Sony in a hot minute. You know? You literally look at the only players right now. China has everything in. This is the problem. It started with the Obama administration, and nothing against Obama, Biden, or Trump, because they're just puppets. But everyone in, what just that? I'm getting a phone call right now. I don't know who 619 is. We're not getting phone calls. That is very rude. Very rude. Do not disturb. Put that on do not disturb. Is that Zuck? Listen, Zuck. You got to stop having bad PR. You need people moving into New York and working at your Meta facilities in Hudson Yards. Can your PR... All right. Fantastic. Thank you for this incredible user experience, user interface that you have built. You are an elite front-end designer on one of the biggest, most trafficked website, iCharles.com. You need to continuously go full max on every single screen size in responsive in light and dark mode, including desktop, tablet, and mobile, especially mobile friendly. We need to make sure it's enticing. It makes people want to view and download and listen to the podcast and view all of our social media. We're bringing in our LinkedIn, our X, our Instagram, our YouTube. We have sample videos, sample lives. We have all of the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, wherever we have podcasts available. We have them the ability to actually sign up. All right, so let's send that out. Let's send that out. Cool live. That's what I say. That's what I say every single day. Do you want to know what's also cool? Let me just go over the news real quick. This will be under 2 minutes, okay? This is how you read the news. This is how you read the news. So for China, there was something called the Japanese scare. From the 1985, mid-1980s, you had Panasonic, you had Sony, you had Toyota, you had Lexus, you had all of these Japanese car manufacturers, electronic manufacturers, you had the Sony Walkman, you had everything coming out of Japan. They rebounded. The greatest country to rebound out of post-World War II was Japan, by far. It was a crazy trajectory. They had a name for this. They brought in a general from the United States, and they had a name for it, which is 1% better. And I'm forgetting the actual term. It was a one-word term. Actually, I'm going to look it up because it was that important. Let's all learn together. What was the term in Japan that they used for 1% better in the 1980s, 1990s, where essentially every car manufacturer and every single company in Japan used this? I think it started with an S. It was like Senshi or Sensai. Kaizen. There we go. It doesn't start with an S. Kaizen. It's 1% better. Excellent books around this. I think it's the Toyota. There was a book around it too. Excellent philosophy. You don't get quantum leaps. You get 1% better, and you build, and it's a compound effect. Great book by Darren Hardy. And you just get this compound effect. Perfect example today. I'm swimming at 220 a clip, okay, per 100 yards. That's slow. That's molasses. That would be known as a swamp. Okay, I need to be swimming at stream level speeds. To get there, I need to swim at swamp level, molasses level, to finally be able to do the curl, tuck, push. Curl, dip, tuck, push. Keep my head against my shoulder. Make sure that my body is not like a wet noodle in the water. Make sure that my legs are Kaizen. Japan, unfortunately, I don't know where they went. Early 2000s, late 2000s. Japan just started becoming less relevant, and then China, 1% better. Learning after that, having all of our products, our watches, our electronics, our furniture, our wood, our everything produced in China. China just said, we could do this better. We could do this better. And that's what they did. They're so sophisticated in their production of Rolex fakes that someone that is a Rolex extraordinaire not only needs to take apart the Rolex to see individually inside if it's an actual Rolex, but sometimes they get duped. That's how good China has gotten at anything, whether it's a Prada bag or a dress that's expensive or a watch or whatever. They don't care. So who's to say this is not now a trading war? China calls up Nike. Trump calls up Nike and is like, hey, listen, we're losing in the AI game. Stop. Pull all of your online sales from China. I know it's going to cost you X amount of hundreds of millions of dollars. Pull it from China. Put on tariffs. Well, guess what happened? The last time Obama, Biden, Bush, Trump put on tariffs, guess what China did? They made their own models. They made their own chips. Now they have Alibaba. Now they have everything in-house. What's going on, Ocean? They don't need the United States anymore. They don't need to meet with us anymore. They snubbed us 2 months ago when China and 25 CEOs went to China. Jensen Huang, the Scott Disick, not Scott Disick. It might be Scott Disick. I don't know. The Treasury Secretary goes over there, snubs us. CEO of Boeing. Elon goes over there. Trump goes over there. Snubbed. We got a stiff arm from China. Now Xi Jinping, even though there's crap being talked about in the administration, Xi Jinping is supposedly coming to the United States. We'll see if he snubs us, because right now China is steamrolling the United States. What are the frontier models spending their money on? And to be honest, America is so capitalistic, we could care less where our furniture comes from. It comes from Malaysia? Cool, love the couch. Comes from Japan, Taiwan, South America, Brazil, Italy, France, America. Comes from New York. Who cares? Love the couch. Put it into my living room. Cool, Gwen, put it into my computer. Cool, Kimmy K3, put it into my computer. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. So what does this mean? What does this mean going forward? I'm so fired up right now. Look at the way this is now getting prompted. Look at the way this is getting prompted. I went back to the basics. There was a guy I was listening to. He's into another subject. He's into a totally different genre. But he said, let's go back to the basics. There's a guy named Coach Wooden. And Coach Wooden, I forgot his first name, winningest basketball player in college basketball. John Wooden. And he has a book out there. John Wooden, rest in peace. He has a book out there where he taught his players, ready for this? Listen to what I'm about to say. He taught his players how to tie their shoes. John Wooden, in his infamous book, not infamous as in bad, infamous as in famous book, one of the biggest things he starts with high school players. These are the players of the players, the McDonald's players, the top 5 who want to play with the best coach in the world at UCLA, who has a record, crazy record. Like he has he has won 665 games in 27 seasons with 10 championships. 10 championships. I'm getting chills. 10 championships. Imagine, that is solo domination. He has 4 undefeated seasons, and he taught his players how to tie shoes. Do you know why? You know what he said? If you don't know how to tie your shoes, you might get a blister. And if you get a blister, you might not be able to turn to the basket as gracefully. You might not be able to forcefully run down the court, go up for the block. In other words, you have a bruise on your right arm, who cares? But if you have a blister in your foot as a basketball player, that's all you got. I had a blister because my socks got scrunched up while I biked. My blister was the size of a football. It was uncomfortable to pedal, and I was on a bike. Why am I saying this? In the United States, we have gotten to a point where we want to have right now. We don't want to build. We are literally building on top of an established society. The roads were built by Eisenhower. The tracks were built in the teens and 20s and 30s, 1920s, 30s, 40s. We still use those tracks. The trains might be a little bit modernized, but the tracks, the roads have been laid out. The airports have been established. Maybe the only thing we're adding are new stadiums. But you know who's been doing the Kaizen? Kaizen by Japan? Out of the World War II destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan has been doing Kaizen. 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. You know who's been doing that? China. The United States doesn't have that concept. We don't have that 1% better. Do you know who's super stoked about Kimmy K3? You know who's super stoked about ByteDance and TikTok showing how to do physics and entrepreneurship and solopreneurship and how to actually understand mathematics on their app in China? Are Chinese people. In the United States, we just want bread and circus. Yeah, this is the headset when you are coming back from an East Village appointment and you leave your iPhone case or your headphone case, whatever the heck that is, the AirPods case, somewhere on the QR train. It's somewhere in the subway, I think. Allegedly. My opinion. I have no idea. The reason I'm getting fired up, I'm listening to a guy who works in this place that I went to this morning. I wouldn't say because I don't want to call out the person or the place. And the guy was like, I'm washing my hands. And the guy is like, oh, I have so much work. And I'm like, oh, I like when people say this. I'm thinking I got a project. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to meet before the board. You know what he says? Something that literally a robot can do in the next 8 months. 8 months. When Anthropic buys physical intelligence, when you already have robots building robots in many factories, where are the humans? The humans need labor. Labor is, for a woman, we say she's in labor. She's in pain. She's in distress. She's in labor. She's doing something to create. What is that for a man? Labor is also creation, but physical creation. Building a building, building a garden, a startup, a business, a presentation, a community, a house. Using your hands, using your mind. It's creation. If labor is taken away, so is your willingness and desire. Don't use feelings. Feelings are not allowed here. Feelings are a fleeting thing. Desire to wake up and get after the day. Now we need to open up because we'll just go after this real quick. We'll go down the news and we'll make sense of it for everybody. All right. Nike pulls sales. The reason they're doing this, probably trading wars behind the scenes. They're not going to obviously come out and say that. Okay, this is high-level thinking, people. This is not low-level thinking. We're high IQ outfit over here. Okay, Nike pulls sales because there's a lot of rip-offs when it comes to Prada and Nike and Rolex and a bunch of other apparel. Nike doesn't care because they're still making their billions of dollars and they could care less. It's all about shareholders. Meta lays off. Terrible PR for Meta. Continuously bad PR for Meta. Continuously. Anthropic is now getting into robotics. They are laser focused. We're not doing video like XAI and Elon is talking about. We're not doing image generation like OpenAI just said and many of the other ones are doing. We're not doing that. We're doing coding. We're doing a bunch of other stuff like Cowork and Artifacts and Dispatch, and now they're getting into robotics. OpenAI just put out a physical manufacturing good to have along with your desktop. I don't know the play there. They also talked about a cell phone. I don't know the play there. Elon talked about a cell phone. I do know the play there because they already have the infrastructure with Starlink. That makes sense. That's an integration. That's a vertical integration. That's not a horizontal. That's not horizontal. Horizontal is we make AI. We don't have the chips, and we're doing manufacturing for, I don't know the reason. Never good to have somebody leave after 2 months. Not for the person. And by the way, they have Jared Palmer, and then they have a woman here. Very weird. Jared Palmer, and then they show this CEO of Aisha Sharma. And by the way, startups, that's it. You got to just be part of startups. The startup culture is the only culture. That is the culture in which we are building here. Going back to the prompt real quick, because you got to give some value. I'm gonna look it up even further. a deep dive. No. Deep dive, bad wording. Deep think. Okay? Claude loves to think. Claude loves to think. Deep think around Boris and Claude Code. I spit all over the place. Claude Code. Prompt. Prompt. What's a good way for a prompt? It's like a... Can't think of the word right now. It's a prompt series. What is the series? Not the series. What is the formula? Nope, bad word still. I got to think of that. It is, what is the chemistry of it? I got to think of a better word. Bad words. Bad words right there. What is the series? No, yeah. What is the series, steps, and the ABC, the 1, 2, 3 of how to prompt? Musk is putting out a lot of stuff. Starship got pushed out to, I think, July 13th, then to July 20th, then to July 22nd or 23rd. That's nowhere to be seen. I don't know what's happening with Starship. Now you're talking about, AI's talking about just absolute... listen, I'm a Elon guy. I read his excellent book, I don't know, 7, 8 years, or he didn't write it, but someone else read it. It was about Elon. Excellent book. Vicious man. Vicious. Don't want to be working for him. There was a woman that was COO that worked with him for many years that kind of really took SpaceX and Tesla to the next level. And it talks about it in the book. But he's doing a lot of projecting. Not projecting like that stupid internet talk, but he's doing a lot of projecting like the actual word. That, like, he's got to start doing this now. You know, I know there was a New York Mag or New York article about him and talking about he's right only about 20% of the time about his timelines. Do you know why, though? Because he's not like Apple. Apple is quiet. They're secretive. And Google just announced or just released Gemini. I don't know what the hell that was about because that was a terrible model. But they're secretive. Elon says, this is what I want to do. Come aboard. Bezos, this is what I want to do. Come aboard. Zuck does that. Dorsey does that. They say, this is what I want to do. Come aboard. That's how they recruit talent and cast the vision. But he's got to start producing because he just bought Cursor for 60 bill, 60 Bs. They just did a crazy IPO. They're now a public company. They went from 135 opening IPO up to 215, 220, maybe even higher. Dropped down to 120. I have no idea what it's up to right or where it's at right now. Interesting image that it pulled in. But they got to start dropping some nuggets. They got to start dropping some nuggets. One thing I'll just also talk about, prompt paradigm. No, it's like a prompt engineer. But what I noticed is right here. You could do an all-encompassing IDE that lives on your computer that Apple should have done. Apple has every app in the App Store. It has Safari. It has Cloud. It literally has the ability to do a cockpit of someone's life. It has Apple Health. I don't, first of all, what's Ivy's first name? I keep on calling him Ivy. And he just sold his company for a couple of bills. Good for him. I keep on saying Sean Ivy, but I think I went to school with an Ivy. And what did his company sell for and name of it? Perfect example is, I don't want to go to a tab. I just want to go, and here we go. Johnny Ive. There we go. All right. So I've been saying Ivy. I combined his last name. He should just be known as Ivy. He's like Madonna, you know, just a one-name basis. I am... Who's that one rocker? Sting? I am Ivy. Hold on. He did not sell it to... Hold on. He didn't sell it to OpenAI, did he? Former Apple chief sold his AI hardware startup, IO, to... Stop it. I don't like this. I don't know. My mind is going to different parts. My mind is going to different parts. I don't like where my mind is going. The total valuation was 6.5. I wonder how much cash was in that. 23 minority stake. Remaining transaction was about $5 billion. Hold on. When did this happen? I don't know. I don't like this. When did this happen? When did he sell this? When this was in 2026? I don't know. This is a little fishy. I did not... 2025? What did he do in 2026? Pet-like AI speaker designed to deeply learn user behavior. Oh boy. We got to start getting married. Enough childless cats and dogs, men and women. We need to start getting married. Johnny Ive. Oh, my mind went somewhere else. We're not going public with where my mind just went. Anyway, that was interesting. We won't go there. But essentially, there needs to be, and I'm going to build that out as well. I'm sick and tired of using apps in different. I need this app. I need that app. That was the problem with N8N. That was the problem with, I almost said Zappos. Geesh. Zapier. Geesh, I almost forgot about that. I haven't used it in years. That was the problem with Zapier. This is here, and then this is there, and then this, here's the first word, and then this is, no. Pull in, that's what we're building. Pull in my sleep score. Pull in what I need to do. Pull in my sleep score. That's connected to my Oura Ring. I haven't journaled. This is connected to my bank accounts. That's blurred out. It's plaid.com. It's connected to my Vanguard, Capital One, and Jovia. It pulls it in. What are my streaks? Today, this should be reset. This should be reset. We're going to do that right now. It's reset every single day. I want to track what are the most important things. Did I work out? Did I get a gallon of water? Why do I have to bring up a gallon of water? In the pool today, when I pushed off the wall, and I know this, that I'm dehydrated, is because when I pushed off the wall, my calf and my quad seized up for 0.25 seconds. And when that has happened in the past, literally, my leg shut down. While I'm swimming, not the best thing to be doing, and not the best thing to be shutting down, is your leg going into a really bad Charlie horse. Like, your muscle goes, and it hurts. And you just sit there in pain in the pool, holding on to the buoy, the lane divider, and everyone's looking at you, and you're fogging up your glasses, and you can't hear anything because you got little earplugs in, and then your watch resets, and the little timer on your eyeballs, on your glasses, because I have Form goggles, and it tells you your lap counter and everything in your eyeballs. I come in today, and I talk about it, and the guy goes, "You're dehydrated." A buddy of mine, he goes, "You're dehydrated." That should be an AI model telling me, "Hey, Charles, your sleep score sucks. Your HRV sucks. You're dehydrated. You need to start." Actually, that's a brilliant idea. Would you like me to add into your tracker, into your streaks, to start drinking water? Brilliant idea. We're doing that right now. We're doing that right now. We are not holding back anymore. We are not holding back. This is your own personalized AI system that is cued into your sleep, your habits, your Garmin, your Apple Health, your workouts, your HRV, your sleep score, your heart rate, resting heart rate. We just need a model. We need a model. Tell me what model you think it is. I don't know about that. One authorized entry to Boatston, all info exposed. Hell yeah, dude. Get it all out there. The thing is, it is like anything else. It's just read only. It is read only. They could see my net worth, but they can't do anything. They could see my sleep score, but they can't do anything. It's not like you are giving authorization to your email, Drive, Docs, and things like that where you can read and write. This is pulling in. So this is read only. Let's get the today. And by the way, you don't think that every single thing that we're doing right now is not being read by every single connector that we have? All right, this is going to be a good prompt. You are a project manager. You are a elite front-end designer, coder, designer, wiring, data architecture. You're looking at the past website that I just put up. On there, you have Streaks. Streaks needs to be live from the Streaks tab. It is connected, not hard-coded. It is connected to the database. It resets every single day, brought in dynamically from the Streaks area. We're also adding in, this is going to be a new feature. It is using a very fast, extremely intelligent model, potentially by XAI, dare I say Gemini, that can analyze my sleep score, can analyze my sleep, it can analyze my workouts, and it can say, hey, listen, Charles, today you didn't get good sleep, or it looks like you're dehydrated, or it looks like your workouts aren't good, or your resting heart rate is XYZ. And essentially, it's going to be an interface, a chat interface to AI that analyzes all of your information in this website, and it gives the ability to create tasks or streaks. Streaks are ongoing to-do lists that you can track. So in other words, if I have bad sleep, it says maybe take a walk for an hour. And you have in the back of your mind the ability, and the only thing you think of is solutions to do. So you can analyze everything in the Life OS and boatenston.com/personal tabs. That is a connection to my entire life. I'm going to be the guinea pig for rolling this out on a wider range to all users. And essentially what you're doing is analyzing everything, and through a chat interface that is extremely fast, extremely intelligent, giving solutions based on something that I talk about. So in other words, if I have an idea that I want to vibe code for the next day, there's maybe a notes section that lives at the bottom left part that you add to the notes, and it says spoken on XYZ day at this time, and you add it to the notes. That is a feature that we don't have on the notes, so maybe even create the notes. And also, we don't have that quick chat interface. That quick chat interface is going to be known as Todd. And I can talk to Todd about any single area within my personal life or within my workspace. My workspace is obviously just for business, and my personal life is just for personal. I can say anything, including adding to-dos, calendar appointments, streaks, reviewing net worth, reviewing my sleep score. It has access to all that. Nothing is hard-coded. Everything is dynamically pulled in from the database. All of the tail tabs talk to each other, pulled into the interface of the to-do. And there is a quick note on the bottom left that I can do quick notes. Very important that we have deep thinking before coming back with any solution or any models or anything on the to-do list. Deep think, deep research, then come back with a project management style. You're the guide, you're the hero, you are elite CEO of my life. A to-do list is going to be created after deep thinking and deep researching into all of Botenston.com/personal, Botenston.com/workspace, Botenston.com/apps. I also want to upgrade. I am tempted to put this on Fable, but screw it. Let's put it on Fable. Let's put it on Medium. I was kind of impressed with Fable yesterday. And I'm fine with buying a new, I already know what I'm building right now is going to be something that people will want to invest in. Because that's really what it is. It's an investment into their life. This is going to be, let's go with Opus. And then, crap. I just had something I wanted to do. You know what I looked into? Oh, this is what I want to do. This is from yesterday. You know what I looked into? AI wrist. I don't know, unauthorized. Yeah, but at least it's not. I have no idea what Onyx is. So we're going to have to go into, I don't want to go into this. So what I'm going to do is, how do I go into AI mode on Google? What is the actual URL? Because if I go to search, there's a default. It doesn't default to AI mode. What is the URL of AI mode for Google search? Google AI? Okay, so it forwards over there. You know what we're gonna do? Let's do this. Okay, so it forwards over there. We're gonna add this in as well. I wanna prompt this as well. When I am looking to have a quick question, I want to be able to pull up the quick AI mode Google search option, and it's going to be quick questions, things like that. To actually activate the voice of CT, I say, "Hey CT," or I say CT, and the voice is activated to then start dictating into the IDE. Make sure that you add to the to-do list the ability for me to say, "Hey CT, I want you to look up," and I'll put in what I want to look up. You then synthesize that into google.com/AI, and it opens up into either a tab or a browser within the IDE, and it does the research using google.com/AI with my Google account need be. We're not burning any tokens, we're not using Open Router, and we're not using any subscription. This is going to be completely free, unlimited, because it is AI mode Google searching. Push any changes so far out so I can download and start testing the IDE. There are 3 areas that I'm also going to bring up, not to remind you, because you are an elite project manager, but B-Shot, which is an app in the Botenston.com app store, needs to be integrated fully within the IDE. Also, the voice needs to be quick, brilliant, fast. Prompt engineering, the way that Boris from Claude Code does his prompting, which is, hey, you are a insert front-end designer, back-end designer, coding, architects, database, security, whatever. Oh, I said security. I said security. I said security. Drop the opus. Drop the opus. Delete security. Dare I say security. Only China is allowed security. Hands up. You had a thought crime. Don't be Tom Cruise. Thought crime. I still have onset. I actually had this in, we'll say this, orchestrator, tester. Okay. By the way, that guy with the curly hair, not gonna lie, that man gave me a lot of screen recordings from yesterday. Like, he talked about a lot of stuff. His thing, I was so close to actually buying because it's so good. But imagine you have a community behind it. Dare I say, listen to this. Why? Why is Strava, which essentially you connect your Garmin data, you connect your Apple Watch, you go for a long ride. If I pull up Strava right now, it will have a feed. It will have a feed. I have no idea what it's going to pull up. Okay, so it talked about my swim. There's my swim. But then I scroll. I have stories. I have other people. This is what makes Strava. This is what makes Strava. It's the community. You're showing off. You're a community of working out. You're a community of high achievers when it comes to racing. You could follow, post videos, post everything. It has your heart rate, distance, average watts, average whatever. That is what an IDE needs to be. There needs to be a community around it. And the community needs to be owned by the community leader or member. It can't be on Discord. Like, of course, Discord is great. Everyone's got Discord. You have 10,000 people on Discord. That's another app. Okay. Then do this. Then do this. And you are going to do all of the items that you have not actually done. I can see the scoreboard. Keep track of the scoreboard. Make sure that you are building this to be elite levels of IDE, where we are competing with the best in the world with all of the features, all the customizations. Every single thing that we've talked about works, tested, reviewed. Also do what is up next, and you are continuously going and approving and pushing. So I am getting to be able to download each version as you build it. You are not spinning up multiple agents. You are doing this yourself, and you are not coming back every single time. You are just continuously going and going and going, testing, reviewing, pushing, testing, reviewing. Okay. This is what I want to do, though. There is something that I also want to do, which is build. Oh, here it is. All right. So this is, okay. Love this order. As the project manager, you are the one that is going to be coding. You are not spinning up multiple agents. You're doing this yourself. You are making sure that as the project manager, the leader, the guide, the hero, that everything is done perfectly, wired perfectly, user interface, user backend, user experience, front-end design, Nothing is hard-coded. Everything is dynamically pulled in from the database, continuously going max. That's the thing. The thing is, here's the benchmarks. The benchmarks. The model needs to, is that this? Okay. Do the high hard priorities that you need to continue doing. You are doing this perfectly, especially as someone that's in charge of this, reviewing and testing every single item before coming back and saying anything is done. Make sure you are wiring everything perfectly and visualizing and testing and reviewing everything for perfection. All right, so we'll send those out. Okay, so that's for the articles. That is for Botenston.com. Botenston.com also has the benchmarks. And what we need to do right now, whoops, we got to open up B-Shot. And we have to take a screenshot of this right here. This right here. The model. Actually, it went the opposite. There, here, that. And then we need to be able to bring that into this one right here. Whoops. All right, let's see if it actually works. Okay, minimized it. Did it go in here? It went in there, but it did not do the changes. Not good, B-Shot. Not good, B-Shot. Do I have to save it? If I save it, does it save to my desktop? It does. If I X, that's weird. All right, I don't like that. I wonder if I could drag this into, whoops. Drag this into the actual, nope. Yeah, I need an arrow key. I need an arrow key and to press save, and it saves to the... All right, for now, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a screenshot of the screenshot, and then we're gonna update B-Shot. So essentially, the IDE is gonna be a lot of different areas. You're gonna have Botenston.com. You're going to have the voice tool, which everybody has. You're going to have the screenshot tool, which everybody has. You're going to have the browser tool, which everybody has. You're going to have a desktop, which I thought about, where you mirror the desktop, and it has all the apps of your desktop. So it's essentially just a screen mirror. I have no idea how to do that, but AI will. Then you have the coding that has perpetual memory, does not collide against each other, has an orchestrator, multiple models. And then from there, I'll be able to be ready for the next drop, and I'll be able to test, not as benchmarks, not as out of 100 or out of 10, here's security, here's hallucination, here's the token cost, I want to say, here are 6 prompts. Run it through probably Open Router, because obviously I can't go through this subscription, but through Open Router, here's the 6 prompts. Why do I want to know? Because I learned yesterday, XAI has an incredible voice to text tool. I learned yesterday that I got to be using for my thumbnails OpenAI Image 2.0. I got to use, as a worker, probably K3 or even on a loop, Qwen. I learned that Gemini sucks. I learned that, and for months, I don't even know why anyone's still pushing OpenClaw or, whatever the other guy is. I can't see that as the future. I can't see that as the future. When your mind goes where I need to be able to present, and I thought about this morning. I don't want to be able to go to here and go to my presentation, my handy dandy written down. I want to present. And there are some bad, I don't curse anymore, but there's some bad, incredible AI presentations where should be in the IDE, where I could just click that tab, and that's an app. And then that app I could put as a tab. If I go to my inbox, which I've been using, I could go to my calendar. And then now I can go to my calendar, and this is what Salesforce does. Salesforce, you create something called workspaces. They call it apps, but it's essentially a workspace. So the sales department has a workspace. The marketing department has a workspace, and then you customize all of the tabs for the marketing department. They all talk to each other in the back end. It depends what is pulled onto the front end for security, customer service, marketing, sales, whatever. But the database, and to be honest, what Mark Benioff created is an unbelievable product. Presentation, AI, it's beautiful. And it's an app. I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to go to Canva. Why would I go to Canva? Why would I use Riverside? The whole point of this software revolution, most revolutions were bad, but this revolution is good, is that you can build whatever you want. And I got to start doing LinkedIn posts. And that's going to be part of my daily checklist. That's going to be part of my daily checklist. And I'm going to be a proponent of my own stuff. Did you post to LinkedIn? Did you post to X? Did you post to the community? Did you go, did you vibe code? Did you go to the gym? Did you have half a gallon instead of just a full gallon? By the way, I'll tell you this, maybe TMI. At this point in my life, I could care less. Everything's already out there. I had a girl say no to me because she went back to one of my videos, which I've put on private now, about why I'm not married. She said, I went into your YouTube and I saw the entire video about why you're not married. And the B shot as well needs to be, and it essentially said, if I'm not ready to get married, if the woman's not ready to get married, why am I going to get married? I can't support you. I can't support a kid. I can't give you my name. I can't give you my kid's name. That's what we're going to do. I can't say this in front of God, that this is what I want to do. Why am I going to do this? And to be honest, a little too much of a playboy. Back in the day, not anymore. Been years since I've been doing that route. And to be honest, I don't miss it at all. Yeah. Yeah, I have a buddy who got divorced. He got married too quick. He didn't have any kids. He had a dog. That was it. That was more important than any kids, though, which is weird. I think we've elevated dogs way too much. I love dogs. Dogs love me. I give really calming energy. I had a dog. I was in the attractive woman. I was in Starbucks over the weekend after a workout. Once you're on you do what I do. What did I do on Sunday? I did 2.5 hour ride into a 25, 30 minute run. So I did, 35 mile ride into a 3 mile run. You're on a high. Dude, you could just start. You're like, give me Mike Tyson. I could give him an uppercut. Give me the butterfly. Sting like a bee. Oh yeah, Muhammad Ali. You got your boy Charlie B. Hop, hop, hop. Jab, jab. Gary Vaynerchuk. Jab, jab. Gary Vaynerchuk. Anyway. All right. Let's go into B-Shot. We got to update B-Shot. We just got to ask this question, though. We got to ask this question. I think this is a sonnet question, to be honest. Let's downgrade it. Let's bring people in from the back. Let's bring it up to the front. You know, you walk into a place, you walk into a classroom, say it's the DMV, or you're studying for the SATs, and nobody knows each other. Everybody sits in the back, or it's like church. Everyone's in the back row, and pastor's like, all right, can we get somebody in the first 15 rows, please? All right. Quick question. I want you to do deep thinking and research. This is a screenshot from B-Shot, which is our screenshotting tool. The number one thing is when I press the save button on the upper right, after doing edits, I want to be able to have the option to save it to my computer or save it. You know what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to delete that. This is called B-Shot. It is our screenshotting tool that's going to be taking over the world. There's a couple of things that I want you to do deep thinking and deep research into. The first is that there is a save option on the upper right corner. There should be an auto save that happens every 1 to 2 seconds or every single time something is actually edited on the actual screenshot. Right now, when I make any kind of edit and then I press the X button, all of the edits go away. There's obviously an autosave feature, so when it autosaves and I press the X button, it autosaves all of the features. And if I open it again, I can then revert back to the original, kind of like what Apple does with their photos, as well as looking into deep research. If Fleet, which is our IDE app within the Botenston.com/app store, if that actually has B-Shot in there or it references it, it uses it if it's integrated in there. Because this needs to be upgraded to make sure that as I take screenshots, I don't lose any edits and it autosaves. And also I need a arrow icon that I can just drag and drop into the screen. Brainstorming funnel plus Sonnet. Yeah, I've been using the Brainstorm. I, my friend, am going to have to get a larger, not a larger, but another Anthropic. You know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to take that and I'm going to put it into, I like that. I want to put this also into the Fable area. That, unfortunately, Fable right now is just going too much. It's going too much. And let's do that. All right, so this is iCharles. What I noticed is that iCharles needed an upgrade. But it's so crazy that Anthropic doesn't have a middle ground model that is actually good. So Sonnet is like GPT-4, and then bam, I can give you a China model, $20 in credit for you to use. I cannot figure out, maybe because I am slow and dyslexic, and as Dr. Susan Jeffers and as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, Do not say that. iCharles.com. Let's see what it did for the website. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? It absolutely murked. Okay, that's a little bit better. That murked my homepage. What the heck did you just do there, Opus? Did you literally commit everything? Is everything committed in this chat? Because you completely murked my homepage, and I am dissatisfied where I'm going to be calling in the manager to complain like a Karen. Holy cow. What in the Gemini model did you just do here? What in the Gemini model did you just do here? Wow. I got to be honest. I think that was the worst design I have seen in months. Thank God I have something else going on in my life besides my personal website. I could give you China model, GLM 5.2, Kimmy. Isn't it above 5.2? Do we not? Let's go to the trusty Botenstein bench. Let's go to the trusty Botenstein bench. I thought GLM 5 point, is that it? All right, we need to, did I put that into the Botenstein to do? No. Add to the to-do list that in the botenstein.com/bench area that the actual toolbar, which should be going with the user as they scroll, whether it's desktop, tablet, or on mobile, you can actually have any single one of the columns be top to bottom resorted based on A to Z or Z to A, and make sure that every single option within the filters work. Beautify not only the bench page, but also fix the toolbar, which randomly is appearing in the middle of the page, but also each individual benchmark AI model needs to be beautified as well, where we are having multiple columns and not multiple rows and less white space. You are an elite UI and front-end designer with a to-do list that you create as a project manager. There you go. Should we say sexy? Should we drop the S word? Use the sexy skill. Impeccable need be. It's got to be modern, chic. Yeah, before we send that out, use the impeccable, sexy skills. Make sure it's run through the Lighthouse CLI. It's responsive on all screen sizes, and add to the design markdown file, or at least revise it, that the owner of you, named Charles Botenstein, I own you, Charles Botenstein, does not like dark or black as backgrounds. It already knows I don't like purple. You are the elite project manager to do the next in the loop, continuously doing that to perfection. You are elite coder, designer, tester, and reviewer, continuously going, not spinning up multiple agents, but doing this yourself, pushing to commits after visualizations and testing of every single feature that you've built. This is vitally important that this is within the loop of any single thing done in this chat or for the IDE chats. And see screenshot. Boys, I'm telling you right now, do you understand how patriotic I was up until about a month ago? I was a American flag running up and down the beach, screaming, God bless America, until you really dive into not news sources like Fox and CNN and CNBC, but when Perplexity aggregates the news and then you see 49 sources bring in a story, that's a big story. You're never going to hear that on Fox. And if it is, it's deep into Fox. Fox highlights what Fox wants to highlight. CNN highlights what CNN wants to highlight. But when you aggregate across CNBC, Fox Business, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, Reuters, Associated Press. Now you go to international, London Times, Washington Post, New York Post, Financial Times, LA Times, New York, already said that, Wall Street Journal. Once you start aggregating the news and then synthesizing that the way that Perplexity does it and makes the titles the way it is so brilliantly, and then brings in the photo, and then you have the deep AI created, by the way, Perplexity, just like I'm not sleeping on Google even after their crappy release on Sunday of Gemini, I'm not sleeping on Perplexity as well. The only thing stopping Perplexity is, I believe, and I don't know anything about this, talent. I think it's talent, because I think they have the funding. I don't know about the talent. And that's the difference. The guy that created the guy that created the Chinese founder, Chinaman from China, came to the United States, went to Carnegie Mellon, started, I think, his freshman year, another startup that I think became Kimmy K. I forgot the name of it. I don't know the exact timeline. So what is happening? You have Samsung buying Ministrol. Samsung's chips are at an unbelievable level. You have NVIDIA that the United States government blocked from going into China and selling NVIDIA servers. So China just built their own. The highest sales car in the UK last month was a Chinese model. So we either ban Chinese models because the United States military and tentacles and banking and, dare I say, intelligence is global. South America, Middle East, Europe, maybe not in the East as much, like Russia, the Balkans, China. They are in, obviously, Asia, Africa. Nike just said online sales to China, you're done. You're done here. You're done. That's a big market. So what do? We have people come to the United States, learn all about how our secondary education works, how our collegiate works, our sports, our society, how we do business. They just go back to their country and then just build whatever they want. They do this with every single app in the United States, by the way. There was some dumb app It was probably like Hinge. Someone came here from some European country. It could have been Germany, France, whatever. Spain. Congratulations to Spain. By the way, they didn't have their first shot on goal until the 89th minute. Do you really think that Argentina was the best in the second best? You don't think France or England, even though they beat England? Anyway, unless Spain was that dominant. Granted, women won, men won now. But they went back to Europe and they just literally copied, just like China's been doing with all of our energy, all of our cars, all of our chips, all of our software. They have a Google, they have an eBay, they have an Amazon. They have all of that. They have a chat, which is our WhatsApp. They have all that. There is a difference now, and it was brought up on Moonshots. There's a difference now where, one second, we got to make sure that this is actually good. This is the app to record. This is the app to record. So it still has not added it as a recording option. I don't know why you're saying this. Okay, let's add that in. Let's go back to Brave. Let's go back to Studio. Taking a screenshot. Adding that in here. We got to make sure that we need to ensure at an elite level that thumbnails are using Fable CLI to create via a prompt and a review, and the thumbnails in a 16:9 ratio through OpenAI image 2.0 generator is done through a prompt with a tab at the top called thumbnails, and the other portion is called Studio. And the Studio, which is a screenshot, should be added to the apps area in the apps store. I still don't see it in the apps store, number one. Number two is the Studio still looks exactly the same unless I'm missing something, which means that you didn't commit it, or you didn't review it, or you didn't test it. You are an elite tester, front-end designer, and using Cloudflare to store the videos. Vitally important that I film, just like Riverside does. I think they store it onto the browser. Then as I'm recording it, it slowly gets uploaded from the browser into Cloudflare. And then it's on a progress bar to 100% as it's being uploaded. Then once it's uploaded, it's being rendered in Cloudflare, and it's also on a 100 up to 100% progress. Once it's rendered properly and I can see the progress, I can click on the video within the video's recording area, and then now I'm into the editor area just like in Riverside. And now I have a button that removes the pauses, the ums, the ahs, the silences. This is all done through an incredible free AI model or through the Claude subscription that I have. All of this is done in the apps/studio area that you have as a screenshot. You are an elite wiring, database, architect, and project manager, front-end and back-end designer, creating a to-do list based on the exact order in which you as the project manager taking the lead desires, with a comprehensive review and testing of everything that I just said, making sure that I'm able to actually start recording today. Vitally important that every single thing that I mentioned is done to perfection, making no mistakes. There you go. That's prompting, baby. We've hit the point where your boy has got to go to the boys' room. Are you guys going to stick around? All right. I got to go to the boys' room. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Stick around. Oh, yeah. Your boy's got a good stream. Your boy's got a good stream. I even went to get some water. I also got some espresso. So this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Because I'm going to have a daily checklist. Be able to post automatically to any socials. All right. You know what we're going to do right now? We're going to do an app, a presentation app. A presentation app. We're going to use, because I can't draw on this. Look at this. This is my to-do list. I can't do this. I need my own IDE. It's called Fleet. Then it went into Fable. I was like, why the hell are we using Fable? Fable's I don't want to get into legal jargon with Dario. Dario is going to show up and be like, the NSA has talked to me about the CIA and the FBI and blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's go into here. No camera? What do you mean there's no camera? Oh, I went into scene 2. Has it always been? Tell me that was just for a portion of it. Tell me that was a portion of it. That wasn't the whole time, was it? That'd be funny. I was testing out the scenes. What I want you to do is a deep think and research into the best AI presentations creators out there. Not the actual people who create presentations, but the actual presentations that can be created. I want you to come back with the top 5. We are basing this solely on beautification, the ability to create anything on an open canvas as possible. It's going to be stunning, beautiful, potentially with animations. It's essentially a freehand chalkboard that I can use as a ability to show live on vibe coding ideas. So obviously we have different shapes, we have different tools, and it's a ability to zoom in, zoom out. There's thousands of different examples. I want you to bring back the top 10 that are the most chic, modern, and sexy. Also no camera. No, it wasn't. You're good. Okay, good. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. How does it show 300? Is it 300 tokens per second? Gemini? Okay, now what you're gonna do. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for the deep research. That was incredibly fast. You are the smartest person that's ever lived outside of Ken Jennings. Who knows that reference? Who knows Ken Jennings? Now give me a prompt that I'm going to put into Claude Code that it's going to build this as an app within the botenston.com/apps store, and it's going to be called Presentation. The presentation is also going to be a potential tab on the left side inside of my IDE that I am creating. This is vitally important that we do this so I can actually present something as examples within the IDE as I'm vibe coding in the background. Use the best one of these 5 that you think is the best. If you don't have a favorite, then give me all 5. So it at least has an idea of what to use. I gotta be honest. Give it to why is this the thing? Oh, now you're thinking. What is it called? Windy? Wispy? Handy. Dude, Handy is in 0.9. It hasn't even used 1.0. By the way, between you and I, there is a girl here today. She just walked by. She's my type. She's my type. That's a problem. Because I haven't been on a date in a while. A year and a half. I'm sitting on 17 girls that I don't look like my photo anymore because I created my Hinge 2 years ago. You know, your boy was less of a drinker at that point, even though I was a full-on drinker. I was a full-on alcoholic at that point, let's be honest. But now we got to go back. No sugar, no alcohol, working out every single day. You know what I got to tell you? I got to be honest. Since when you start eating correctly and sweating and drinking water, those three things, water, sweating, and eating correctly, your hair feels different. Like you have to shower before you get into the pool so you get off all your crap, even though you get into the pool and they already have like crazy amounts of chlorine because it's a public pool. It's not like the one in your backyard. This is a public pool, so you got a bunch of, namaste dropping in there. See, watch this. Look at this. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Why are we going to win? I just said, give me a prompt. Maybe that's how you even prompt the IDE. IDE prompt by saying, create a prompt. Create a prompt around, be specific. Maybe we even have a school and it's all free on how to prompt. Not by how I want you to prompt or how you should be prompting, but look at this. I say create a prompt. This is exactly how Boris from Claude Code said how to prompt. Here is the objective. Here is the specific requirements. Wow. You can't make this up. This is why we're going to win. And it's not crazy. And then here's the step-by-step. Dude, you can't even make this up. Is Boris working at Alphabet? Is he at Gemini? Is he at Google? You can't make this up. They stole this from Boris. Unless this is just every AI model. Maybe. Maybe I'm just, a Neanderthal just slamming my head against the keyboard, against the ones and zeros, banging around a data center, sucking up our energy because we're still using solar and coal instead of nuclear. This is exactly how to prompt. I am stealing this. I am stealing this. I am stealing this. By the way, what is up with my Oura Ring? My Oura Ring should be done by now. I am stealing this. Steal as the way to prompt. No. To formulate a prompt for the IDE. To auto formulate. Dude, you have no idea. We're going to have our first person that's going to be like, I want to pay for this. They pay for it. And then they start giving me ideas and I go, holy S word. We don't curse on here. This is exactly because we suck at prompting. We're lazy. We just want things done. We're not at the point where a chip is in our brain and we have Neuralink into the internet that's connected to Bluetooth, which is connected to our AI model. We're not even talking, we're just thinking, and we're all just a cog in the matrix. And we all took the red pill. I'm sorry, we all took the blue pill against our will. Charles, that's not even funny. Listen, let's be honest. Like you're going to do anything, Bob, that works in accounting at Meta. Bob at Meta is creating a website like this. I think the best way to actually get around this is to really fight this system. Yeah, Bob, what's going on with my menu options up here, Bob? Bob, you came in with a presentation. And your presentation sucked, Bob. Let's at least, oh my gosh, it still has down here the toolbar. I can't wait till you guys see me react to a new model. You got all these people, bridge face, you got the guy with a full head of hair. Talking about a guy that's got kids. He announced yesterday he's got kids. Holy cow. You're vibe coding, you got kids, bro? I would be vibe coding for 12 hours a day. I would have a treadmill. I would have a hamster wheel. Whoa. You got children and you're vibe coding? God bless your heart. I would also have a GoFundMe. I would have... Oh boy, supporting a kid? My wife is like, so I know I'm one of 17 women that are in your Hinge inbox. I know you've gone out with none of them because you're a complete Nimrod. But how are you going to support us in a house in New York, one of the most expensive states outside of California, and the State District of Washington, District of Columbia? You're in New York. Yeah, honey, I'm actually a vibe coder. I go live on YouTube every single day. I talk to a bunch of strangers on the interwebs. I'm hopped up on about 4,000 shots of espresso, and I also do triathlons, which it's very expensive. It's actually probably the most expensive sport you could be doing in the entire world. Every race is about $700, and that's the local race. If you want me to travel, it's about $4,000 to $5,000 every single race to be to say you're an Ironman, to get a stupid medal around your neck that you could buy for $10 at the local trophy store and say that you're an Ironman of Nashville. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, I should probably take him out, right? I should probably take these women out. They're going to be like, you look like nothing like your photos. I'm like, I know. But I could tell you right now, I am more fun than anyone else. All right. Why is this a thing? Is demanding I go into the DMs. Let's go into, get away from Sonnet. Let's go into Opus. Let's get this guy going as well. Let's get this guy going. Botenston.com. Spelled my name wrong. Botenston.com. I don't even know how to spell my own name. Presentation. What a boring name that is. Freehand. We'll call Freehand for now. Probably stolen directly from Apple. Isn't that what Apple's is called? Total, copyright right there. Copyright infringement. What the hell is Apple going to do? Well, actually, they're one of the most successful suing companies in the entire world. Yeah, I know. All right, so why is this a thing? Is saying, look in your DMs. Get out of the benchmark. Go into your DMs. All right, let's go into the DMs. Let's get a benchmark there. Let's clean up the tabs. All right. Full setup. Whoa. Don't get me excited like that. I suggest downloading VoiceBox. That was for the... Yeah. I think audiobooks are actually going to be a pretty big thing, because if you're on your IDE and you're now using the app to go in and, all right, full setup. API I can send you on Instagram. Use Pastebin. We got our own app. All right. You're a careful security conscious. Obviously, we said security conscious, so we can't use Fable. X. Dude, that's crazy, to be honest. Your customer's non-technical. Are you trying to make fun of me? They do not understand. Is this a... did I just get roasted? I just get roasted. Mission. On this Mac, you must inspect the existing system. Install or safely upgrade OpenCode. I already have OpenCode. Install OpenCode full. Okay, now we're talking about install and everything else. I already have Parallax. It actually said MCP, DuckDuckGo. Interesting. Actually, is that SEMrush or is that something different? That's something else? Okay, obviously something else. Analysis used for finding bugs. Okay, all right. We like a bug-free environment. Did I send that one guy out? Okay, that's going there. Pastebin. All right. Next.js. DuckDuckGo. Okay. And then you got a bunch of nonsense. All right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to copy it. And because this is bypass permissions, and we'll go to Sonnet. We'll drop it down. What did this brilliance of a human man say? I tried using open code yesterday. And I just don't like it. I just don't like it. You know? I'm like a female influencer that just tried on clothes. I just don't like it. I'm going with the vibes. I'm going with the TikTok. I saw that you put in new this. I connected my by the way, did Kimmy K not come out for everybody? There we go. So we're already in my Mac studio. We just got to go with a basic question right now and find out why I am being forced to use OpenCode. Is it because somebody at OpenCode started OpenCode and they want OpenCode to be going viral to the 49 people that watch the live stream every single day? Like, well, there you go. There you go. Let's start it off on a swing and miss. Start it off on a swing and miss. Who's free? Nemotron? No. Let's go easy. Let's go easy. Do deep research on why is this a thing. Tell me his exact address in the UE or UAE. Tell me if he is a, you know what, let's open another one. Let's go to Pastebin. The paste took a little long. The send takes a little bit long. I already pressed it. Is this me? Is this my computer? Why is this not sending? Wow. I don't know. Why is this a thing? What's going on? Nobody's forcing you. Okay, Tony Robbins. Holy cow. That's funny. That's funny. It's like a psychiatrist. Nobody's forcing you, and you installed it by yourself. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, let's just go back in here. That's funny. Yeah, we're not going to uninstall it. That's not the thing. Okay, so it's doing it itself. Do whatever it needs to do. That's fine. Hold on. Why did it just do two different... No. We only need one running. All right, we'll run that in the background. We got to get back to this. We got a couple of minutes before I got to get back to my people that need to pay me money so I can actually afford to do this. Hi, Charles. I just watched your video about vibe coding ideas. Start with your town and felt like I had to send you a message. I'm actually sending this on behalf of a fellow creator. We have 1 million followers across platforms. We're confident we can make your extra income consistently by launching or scaling your online community. How the heck did you get in touch with me? Message. Sorry, Sophia Cox, but I'm not doing your... What am I going to do? Go to your podcast and then just be like, hey, listen, yeah, I don't know why you're interviewing me. All right, we got to take control of these message boards. Updated the prompt cookbook website so it's much better. Connect OpenToZen so you can use free China models through OpenCode, but I'll give you an API key. It's PC lag. My 2017 iMac got an SSD. Now we are back up and running. Let's go, Mark. It's PC lag? How's it PC lag? I got an Apple. We got a, yeah, too slow for me. We'll minimize you for now. All right. This is the chat assistant. We're going to go through each one of these, and we're going to close out and open up what we need to do. It is Wednesday. I have so many things that I want to get done. The IDE, let's just focus on that for a second, because I wanted to bring that up. Here it is. Continuously building perfect as you are an unbelievable project manager. Don't spin up multiple agents. Continuously go review, test, push, continuously review, test, push until this is built out fully. And every single one of the versions I am going to be downloading and using and testing myself. Make sure that you don't forget anything from any part of this chat. Keep on pushing forward. Do this perfectly, make no mistakes. So it's asking for Kimmy K. Is Kimmy K, does anyone have their own? Whoa. Up to 1 year in Kimmy K credits. Not gonna lie, I would not want to be in the White House. When is the next election? 2028? We're in 20, is it 2028? When's the next election? I don't even know. When is the next USA election? 2028. So they'll start, it's what, 2026? Okay. So it's either going to be J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom. I wouldn't want to be one of them. I don't want to be one of them. Dude, the next 5 years is going to be crazy. You have a military-industrial complex that cannot get their finger off of the nuclear weapons button. And then you have a extreme dual-party unison Republican Democrats who hate war. But they're also in unison where they hate AI. I wouldn't want to be any person in DC right now. You have corrupt politicians who are talking to corrupt business people who have corrupt donors who need to satisfy everybody while putting their nice smiley pearly whites on CNBC and Fox Business and CNN and Fox News and talk about how they are concerned about what the voters are thinking. I am concerned about what the voters are thinking. I have no money from any super PAC at all. Dude, I would not. I am blessed. Blessed. We should all just get on our knees tonight and just say thank you that I am not being a part of any of these headlines. By the way, they're going to kick me out of this office for just yelling. This, by the way, is coming after, what's the guy in the wheelchair? Governor Cox, or no, Governor, whatever the hell his name is. Governor shows how much I could care less about these people that come and go. Wow, I'm surprised the governor's not there. Woo! Ooh. See, right now, I just want to say, who is the governor of... Look at... Oh my gosh, we still have this stupid thing? That needs to be gone. That needs to be gone. This needs to be gone. This needs to be gone. That needs to... I am done with you. We are getting, as what's his name said, we are getting a divorce. I want a divorce. That was from his Vicious Circle. Dane Cook. I almost said Dwayne Reed. Dane Cook. When I open up the IDE, this dumb, stupid message continuously comes up. This needs to be banished from my eyeballs forever. Add this to the to-do list on the next update. This is extremely important. It's a bane to any user's interface. It is awful experience, and that's it. Send that out. Use Fable. Also, API on the Gram. It's for the open code JSON. That could have been in Cantonese. That could have been in Cantonese. Also, add in the to-do list that you take one of the fastest models. It could be Gemini, text-to-speech, or using one of the Handy API, which is text-to-speech. Using one of those models, whatever they use, and understanding that when I want something looked up, I just say CT, which calls upon, and I say exactly what I want looked up, and it does it in the background and pops up onto the IDE. So this is done automatically for me. Add this to the to-do list, project manager, whatever order in which you want to do it. I already know it's part of it. But imagine going to the grid, and this is basic. You have your books, which you connect, so you can listen to your books, a YouTube link, which clearly doesn't work, because I copied it. I put it in here. Doesn't work. It says it works, but it doesn't. This thing does something. So that's all broken. The memory is going to be, I don't know if that's going to be Obsidian, but I want to do research on a couple of things. How to have agents not collide into each other. How to have every single one of them. So essentially what my brainstorming session with Brainstorm said is you have Fable, work with another, obviously they also said don't mix. It's kind of like oil and water. Don't mix other models, but why is that not a thing? Why can't Fable use K3 and then Haiku for research or whatever, XAI, Gemini for research, whatever, I could care less. Brings it in, approves the plan, approves the to-do list, approves the, this is who you are, this is what we're building, exact objective, exact what we need to do, exact step-by-step, pushes it out, loops it, then comes back to Fable. This is what I built. Fable out of 10, rates it, says terrible. 8, I need it at least at this, and it continuously loops. Ooh. Okay. Okay, we're peeping something now. Okay, so it's doing it in the bottom right, and it's doing a browser in the bottom right. That's not a good today, so that's automatically brought in. Coding. All right. So first of all, these need to be together. So the icon and the word need to be together. The news needs to be brought in by me as browser Brave API or browser. The goals are brought in automatically. I could delete it. Oh, I could add too. Okay, so it adds in a destination. This is going to be different. This is going to be add in maybe even an app. I could add in my calendar. I could add in my email. I could add my desktop. You know, this probably doesn't work. Nope, that doesn't work. Does that work? Okay. What is today? You know, all of these should be down here, and I customize it. And weather is just another app. And then you can move it on your own canvas. And then on here, I have, this is what I'm building. I have my own little freehand workflow. This is what I'm talking about. And if you don't have this and you want to log into your cell phone or you want to log into your tablet or whatever, then we have an area, a library, dare I say, on the best way to prompt, the best way to vibe code, the best way to think of ideas, the best way, you know, this should be drag and drop right here. This is not. This is probably not drag and drop. It's not. See the inbox over here, very bad. Very bad. But you know what? This is the beginning. Wow, look at that to-do list. Look at this to-do list. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Essentially, the build is build it for desktop, bring it into the IDE. Everything is updated on the desktop. And on the IDE, I'm never going to leave here. My day is going to be, okay, content. I click on the content, and now I have the way to film it, the thumbnails, to update my daily checklist, which is a LinkedIn post, an X post, a Facebook post. Did I do a vibe code? Did I go to the gym? It brings in, like, that is the future. All encompassing, all around me, bringing up a cockpit, a dashboard that I log into every single day. I have my wealth, I have my stock picks, maybe I have financials, all of that. They're idiots. So I'll Model Fusion, for example, Fable plus Soul obliterates both of them. Solo. Yeah, obviously. That's what I mean is I can't go with what people talk about because that murkies my ignorance. I need to be ignorant. I'll give you an example. I was talking to somebody who their kid's going to a 4-year, $100K a year school. Imagine, instead, you give them $400,000 loan, 0 interest, to build something, and you give them $5K a month. Learn it on your own. Check your messages. I send you how to fix media not playing. On the IDE, we got to think of a new name. Foundry. On Foundry. On B-Shot. The reason, you mean my headphones? No, I'm just kidding. All right, we got to go through all these. Before I go, I got to bury every one of these chats, and then I either click out of it. Okay, implement the autosave. Okay, so this is the autosave. Okay, so it should be updating to the latest version. Settings. You're on the latest build. Okay, let's test it out. It also should have added a hand. Still did not add in a hand. Let's see if the autosave is there. Autosave did not do it. Autosave did not do it. Autosave did not do this. Oh yeah, it also talked about if B-Shot is involved in the other. I also have to get a Osmo battery handle. The thing is, for the IDE, it is literally going to be, what do you want to play right now? An audiobook? YouTube. YouTube is very finicky about their embeds, though. If you are not signed in and cookied, they will not play it because they don't know if it's playing in someone's membership backend, which would be free playing it. If you have Premiere and there shouldn't be ads, or if you're over 18 and you need to. I tried to do this on my homepage, and I think that's what we're running into right now. I don't know how to get around it, though. I might need to go into Google Console, their developer console. I might. But still, it still gets a little finicky. Okay, autosave. Tell me. Okay, verified, committed. So committed to main. Did you actually commit this not only to main, but to the apps store B-Shot, where I am updating the latest B-Shot. The latest B-Shot I have on the screenshot, it did not autosave. It also did not add in a drag and drop. It also needs to be fully integrated into the IDE as well, known as Foundry. Either give that as, you know what? See, this is a perfect example of where I would, okay, send that out. Where I would say, this is in another chat. I'll actually say it right now. Add to the to-do list that as I am talking to one chat that is within the IDE, I can then say there is a chat, there is a project manager, there is something going on within the actual work tree. I don't like that word. In another chat that is going on within the IDE, and you can actually prompt that other chat, or you can find out what that other chat is doing, that other window. So in other words, it's full transparency between every single one of the chats, what they're doing, what they're orchestrating, what they're working on, what they're designing, and what they're coding. The reason we're saying all of this is because I want to be able to prompt other chats and have the other chat give other chats maybe a to-do list or something to consider. Thank you for everything that you've done. I need you to continuously doing everything and continuously releasing everything that we've talked about in this chat window. Vitally important that we don't spin up multiple agents. We do a lot of review and a lot of testing. All right. This is a wild feature. This is the articles. Let's close out that. If this can actually work, Wow, my ring is really taking a while. Articles, here we go. Click on an article. Wow. Not bad. Not bad. It doesn't go to it? Oh, it does.
Venture capital versus bootstrapping, the honest answer. Venture capital and bootstrapping.
Wow, and it goes to it.
And in 2020, U.S. investors deployed 156.
I'm actually kind of impressed with this. We need to... You are a professional UI and front-end designer. Looking at that, I need you to make sure that we are upgrading the quality of the play of the articles, making sure that there is a back 30 seconds, forward 30 seconds, play and pause button, and playback speed up to 2x within the controls. I also want you to make sure that there are multi-columns and not multi-rows. And also any other items to beautify this, to make it modern, chic across every single article. This is the exact same framework going forward, and in the past, we are not hard coding anything. Everything is dynamically pulled in from the database, and it is excellent user experience for humans and AI models and search engine models being brought in by search engines and AI models via the code base and interface, perfect wiring. Being a project manager, designer, review, test, and come up with the objective of what I just said and a to-do list in the order in which you recommend. Do all of that perfectly, reviewing and testing at the end. Redesign Botenstein.com. I don't know what the hell this is. I'm just close to just chalking this up as an L. I don't know what that was about. Let's see if the benchmarks, okay, the benchmarks was at least, okay, good. Thank God. At least something was done. Wow. Are you happy with Botenstein.com? Also, the Botenstein.com/bench. Whoops. Let's get the URL. Needs to continuously be updated in the database, pulled in from the database onto the interface. Nothing is hard-coded. Everything is beautiful, responsive on all screen sizes. You are a front-end designer and a elite premier user experience, user interface, and nothing on this screams to have people join the community and what they get in the community. Vitally important that we brag about what we have in the community. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Wow. That was bad. That was bad. Okay. We need a win right now. We need a win right now. Okay, so all the filters should be working. Vision tools free. 150 Doesn't even have output. Yeah, these aren't even correct. Fable latest is, yeah, these numbers aren't even correct. It's pulling it from Open Router. Yeah. Also, deep research on Open Router and bringing in the correct information, looking at the input and output money and per tokens, that does not look like an accurate amount of money. Unless it is, I could be wrong. Very open to being wrong, but that is an extreme amount of money, unless that is correct. Yeah. I'm going to be breaking out Kimmy K. If those benchmarks are accurate. Okay, so this is build in the app. This is the App Store. I just need to get this out of my face. Apps, Studio, thumbnails. All right, so I'll test out thumbnails. I don't know why it would add thumbnails to the upper right. I'll have to test this out. I don't know why community. This also needs to be wrapped within the actual. This needs to be wrapped within the left main navigation. I don't know why you wrapped it by itself on a standalone page. And the upper right area says thumbnails. There needs to be a tabbed area called thumbnails and another one called studio. The studio goes to the studio where I could record. All of the action buttons need to be on the left side and not the right side. Again, the entire page needs to be wrapped within the left main navigation that we have for community, apps, workspace, personal area. Very important that that's done properly. And going forward, don't ever create a page that is not wrapped within the main navigation. Just going rogue. Just creates its own. I might just dump this as well. This is iCharles. Like, what the hell are we doing? Nothing bothers me more than I'm just. You're done. Like, what was that? All right, so this is continuously going max on every single thing. Stop stopping. You're on a loop until everything is completed and reviewed under you, the Fable creator, project manager. Keep on looping until everything is done. Don't stop. Build everything out in this chat. Make sure it's tested, reviewed. Make sure you debug everything. Make sure you visualize everything, that the user experience, user interface is perfect. Very important we do all this on a loop until all 30 things are done. Stop stopping. Keep going. All right. Check if open start out the thing necessary, the API key from the message, and give the GLM a redesign prompt. Where are we on this? It is going very slow. Gotta be honest. Checking in progress. Give me one more minute. How do you not have a bypass permissions? Okay, that's weird. Should that not have... There you go. Once I have that, I'll proceed with open code. I thought I had the... All right. Cooking with grease. All right. Churning, working. Get those out of the way. I'm very close to just closing a bunch of stuff out. Todd, okay, so this is the assistant that is, whoops, I just closed that out. This also needs to be wrapped in the main navigation as well. Autosave, so this is for the B shot. We'll just do haiku or sonnet for this. This is super easy. This is the IDE that we have. It is under the apps store and should be wrapped in the main left navigation of the community LifeOS admin apps left menu that I see and have screenshotted. All right. Close that out. I gotta be honest, I actually like, the problem is with these, you can't work out in these. You can't work out.
Detecting audio generated by 11 Labs with Synth ID.
Oh, it goes. Ooh, I like that actually.
11 Labs. People should know when they are
I like that. I'm gonna take that. Let's take this screenshot. When you press the play button, the additional play option should open and it should say the amount of time that is the entire article if it was at 1 speed. And it also is going up as you read it and highlights part of the article you're in. If they don't press play, then it just shows how much time is in the actual article if it was at 1x speed. I like this way that they've done it on another website. Use this UI and design. All right. And this should be Sonnet. It is Sonnet. That is the IDE that should be screenshotted. The LifeOS. All right. Let's see if the LifeOS. Let's go to Botenston.com. LifeOS. Where is our LifeOS? Todd? Hello, Todd. How are you today? Wow. That was quick. Your net worth dropped over $2,000. Oh, that's funny. I like how quick that was. I'm going to build that out in the background. Absolutely love that. I also want to have the memory system persistent on a conveyor belt with potentially Obsidian AI in the background where the earliest memories, or at least the earliest chats, are continuously being added into memory, and the ones outside of the context window of maybe 200 to 250,000 is put on a conveyor belt and put into a file storage memory for perpetual memory forever. So as it gets to 250, it goes into a markdown file automatically. The markdown file then is added to, and it is for that hour, then maybe that day, then maybe that week, then that month, then that quarter, then that half year, then that year. In other words, there is a perpetual memory system and it is continuously going down a conveyor belt, and the chat is always there, present, understanding, learning about the person, learning about their money, their health, their relationships, their habits, their good, their bad, their workouts, their workspaces, their ideas, their questions, all of those things. Also, the interface needs to be dialed in to be a more modern, sexy, and chic way of actually talking with Todd. Todd also takes up a little too much screen on the desktop. That needs to be really just a little bubble that people go to when in need. And also the quick notes are potentially another area unless you want to keep it as a tab. But someone will say within the AI to add a task, add a streak, add to the quick notes, and you'll know where to add that. So there is a natural language model of execution and solutions for each person, individually siloed to each person. That's very important that everything is siloed to each individual user. All right, set up open code. This is your prompt. Build freehand. Let's see if it was shipped. Boneston.com apps presentation. Let's go up here. Let's go to Brave. Okay. So I'm not mad about the Hello, testing this out. Okay. What is this? Interesting. Scene frame. Zoom in and out. Nope, that goes up and down. All right, I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad about it. Oh, scene frame. Okay. Overview. How do I add more? You know what? I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad about this. I am not mad about this. Charles, are you mad about this? All right, let's go to Visual Code. That's the autosave. This is the freehand. Let's go into here. Actually, let's do this. Go into here. Delete this screenshot. You are an elite designer, coder, project manager, front-end designer. And what we are doing here is a very important build for members. Each of the members has their own freehand, need be. There are different pages that they can have, different freehands that they can have, different scenes which they can have. They can create any of the scenes. They can move anything around, zoom in, zoom out, pan anything. The left navigation also needs to be reviewed, tested, as not many of them are actually in working condition. The ease of use, user experience, user interface must be upgraded 100x. The features must be better. There must be an auto save as well. And coming back to it at all times. Must have a last edited right there, and then they have a drop-down menu on the upper left corner where they can go to different freehands, and it's an unlimited size on the canvas. I don't know if we should break this into two different apps where one of them is a freehand where they build whatever they want and they're not presenting it, and then the other one is an actual presentation where they're presenting it. Maybe it's just one, and it is up to the user on how to use it. Again, you are an elite project manager, taking over this as a designer. Nothing is hard coded. Everything is pulled in dynamically from the database using every single feature known to presentations using AI. Beauty is the truth on this design. Then create, after deep thinking and research and visualization and reviews, a extensive to-do list, and making sure at the end of the to-do list you do all of it perfectly without mistakes. I think biggest thing this week is being a better prompter. This prompt is a prompt injection. What did this brilliance of a human man say? This is a prompt injection? Why is this a thing? Is he intelligence? Is he intelligence? Am I getting a call? Am I getting a call from, How have I reached my resend daily quota? That means I've sent or received 100 emails. I gotta look into that. Resend API limits reached. I gotta look into that. I like these headphones, but unless I leave it here, I kind of like how I could scream at the top of my lungs and I have no idea what's going on around me besides people walking by and saying, why is this guy screaming at the top of his lungs? I do like that part. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, I like that part. This one is stuck. Give it to Claude. Check OpenCode if it is installed. Everything necessary. Take the API key from the messages. Holy buzzwords prompt. Why is Claude so stupid? Generally, Claude! Well, it is in OpenCode. All right, we'll add it in. Let's go to the Instagram. Let's see. Let's rifle through the DMs of people giving me absolute nonsense from XAI. That's interesting. Yeah, that was Buzzwords 101. All right. Now it's... I kind of like the way that... I kind of like how the open code, I had to look at the top left menu option, so I actually said the right thing. I like how OpenCode does its to-do list. Very Claude Cody. Not Claude Cody. Okay, well, that's wonderful. OpenCode upgraded. I was at the latest version, I thought. Check for updates. Not about. 1184. It does the to-do list pretty fast, actually. 14 out of 13. Granted, it's literally just installing. So what is the end game of OpenCode? To be bought out? Like, is there is it like Open Router where they charge a 5% on top of, or, you know, like on top of whatever is being bought? My Ring is still not charged. My thing must be broken. Yeah, my battery's broken. Wow. All right. Well, we got a lot of things we got to get. We got to get new AirPods. We got to get a wrist thing. Can I just talk into my Ring like this and just say, hey, can you add to my to-do list? Add into my to-do list. Actually, you know what we're going to do? I actually talked about this with, where's the one that was, where's the one that was adding in the, where is it? Where is the, okay, so that's playback, redesign of Botenston. That is the studio app. That is, where the heck is the, I just saw it, or I just prompted it. It is the, oh, here it is. I want to see, this is what I was actually looking at. I'll bring it up on Amazon. This is what I was looking at. I could just bring up, it's called Plaud. It's 180. If this thing goes through, maybe I'll do a Plaud. But I don't know how there's not other Plauds out there. Like, this is the only thing that I've seen. And it has really good reviews. Like, this, B and H are not fake. Those are real reviews. Obviously, this could be fake because that's Plaud. Best Buy, those are real reviews. So it's very strange, to be honest, about this. Obviously, yes, they could be bought. I'm not going to trust these because this is on its own website. And I have been in situations where people have been, hey, you've bought our creatine, or not our creatine, you brought our protein. If you give us 5 stars, we'll give you a free protein for next month. You leave 5 stars, you get a free protein. It's a real user who bought a real one. It's very interesting though. If you put it around, or put it around your watch, your wrist, you have to pay per month if you bought this without some kind of combination within a CLI, MCP, I don't know the difference. But I was thinking about put into vibe coding or put into to-do list or put into, and for them, they just care about your subscription. See, look at this. They just care about your subscription. I want to buy Plaud or something similar and just talk into it and say, this is a content idea, or remember, because literally I'll be sleeping, I'm not pulling out my phone. I'll be working out, I'm not pulling out my phone. I'll be walking on the street. I just want to, but I'll think of an idea and be like, actually, that's a good idea. Actually, that's a great idea. Actually, that's a connection I've never made in my life. Because I walk around most of New York City in silence. And if I don't, especially now that I don't have AirPods, you know, I'll have to go out and buy some, which is stupid. I'll have to ask my office to see if they found it. But this should also not be a button. This should just be like, hey, Plaud. Hey, Siri. Unless Siri could already do that, or yeah, can Siri already do that? I also don't like that Siri's always listening. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my hooter at this point. You know? Left camera's going ham. Yeah, I think that guy's in need of an upgrade. Thank you for your service. We'll go MacBook Pro. Yep. It overheated. I need to get this thing right here that literally broke down. I don't even know where it is. Even my laptop is hot. My MacBook Pro is hot. Wow. It is it's propping up the phone. I think we got a good setup right now. Offices in my building they start about 1,500. And the thing is with the offices is that I scream at the top of my lungs. So it's good that I'm kind of like in a closet. I'm not. But it's good that I'm in a closet. I love this. It's funny because everyone that Vibe Codes has this. And I might just Vibe Code with this from now on. You know what? I'm going to do that. We just take action. We take action. We take action. I also wanted in the IDE to have OBS integration. And it was building in the OBS integration as if I'm in the Mac Studio and I'm doing this locally and not remotely. And I don't know how I could do that, but I definitely want to do that. Why? There are things that, look at this. Within the App Store, maybe we even come up with something else. OBS library. And I could take this, and now I have, it is not text, it's media. I think it's media. Let's go to media. Yes, media. It's not a local file. Is it media? No. It's browser? I don't know. Screen capture? Is it media? Did I just say media? Browser? Let's try browser. Yeah, here it is. So if I do this, whoops, I almost just gave something away. Templates, copy URL. If I do that, so it didn't show up. Oh, see, there it is on the upper right corner. So that is on the upper right corner. What are we building today? So in other words, I press preview. So it previews what it's going to look like. Like, we could do live sprints. We could do countdowns. We could do URLs. You know, edit this, that it is not a timer, and update it. And it's not showing, but whatever. I could do overlays. Like, it's infinite. It is infinite. The possibility. Right now, I have to go to the app library to then go to the community LifeOS workspace coding. Look how many windows I have open. This is unnecessary. I don't need Bshot open. I don't need, I need OBS open. I don't need Brave open. I don't need VS Code open. I do need Tailscale open. I do need the, this guy, which is the audio MIDI setup, MIDI setup. But that's how we're going to get money. And if I get, you know, some of these people, so the way that Canvas guy did it, it's very interesting. You have two ways to do it. Canvas.dev, and then you have Bridge. Is it BridgeMind? We'll try this. Yeah, we'll just, is it BridgeMind? BridgeSpace? BridgeMind. Okay. So you can either do subscription models, which you get credits which is very interesting. So you get obviously Bridge Voice, pretty easy. Bridge Shot, pretty easy. Support, early access. You get the MCP. You get the Bridge Memory, which pretty easy. But then you get the credits. I don't know what the credits is for. I'm assuming the credits use your own subscription, but I don't know what the credits are for. I don't know. But if he's making $250K a year, that's hundreds of users. That's hundreds of users. This guy, on the other hand, did one time. And what is the difference, by the way? Open code ask. Enjoy your day. I'm just going to riff for a second. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to continuously going back. I see the watch time going up. And if consistent, when consistent, the views will go up, the watch time will go up. And then that's how we get people consistently going in, entertaining, high energy, got to work out every day, wake up every day, eat correctly, eat clean. That's how we do it. This guy went the opposite way. This guy did a one-time fee. What is the difference? The difference is you get about, on something like this, you're probably going to get about a 20%. If you're really good, 10% refund. If you're the best, you only get 3 to 5%. But most of these are about 20% refund. That's a lot. So if you sign up 8, 2 are going to refund, but out of the 8, what is your churn rate? Your churn rate is pretty darn high. Your churn rate is they don't renew, they churn. And now you have to continuously add people on. This is the subscription model. This is the funnel model. You know, that's something that I could even be doing in, Botenston.com/apps. Apps/presentation, or no, we called it, no, we did call it presentation. Okay, so essentially this is how it is. This is how it is. I wish if I could scroll up or down, it moves. Oh no, oh, that's interesting. I don't know, I want better. Okay, let's go with this guy, ink, connector, sticky, box, ink. Okay, there we go. All right, so you have top of the funnel up here. This is churn. As you go down to the bottom of the funnel, this is called churn. They have to continuously add people up here because down here is the sweet spot. These are known as the people that will ride or die with you. This is the 10%. This is the, they have Who Moved My Cheese. There's also another guy, he has, I forgot the name, Raving Fans. Raving Fans is a great book, very short. Essentially, you just need, he called it 1,000. I think he called it 100. You need 100 Raving Fans in today's day and age. I think you need about 1,000. You need 1,000 Raving Fans to go from top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. These are the ride and die. I actually like this. Oh, wow. There actually needs to be a grab. Oh, the grab needs to be at the top. I like this a lot. This was a one-shot, by the way. This was a one-shot. All right, we just moved to a new song. I got to bounce as well. Big day today. Big day today. A lot going on, a lot to do. I know where we're going. I know what we're doing. Didn't get to any news. Could care less. But we're getting to the place where people are going to say, oh, I want the presentation. I want the apps. I want the, I want to be able to connect this with my at-home bike kicker. I want to connect this with my MCP tool or my CLI, whatever the case is. I'm just buzzwording it up. But I'll be back tomorrow. Unbelievable day. Unbelievable week. Halfway through the week. A lot on my to-do list. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a blessed day. eat correctly, go to the gym, work out,